They're not good role models?
Who is your role model? Who would you like to be like someday? The exact definition of a role model given by dictionary.com is a person whose behavior, example, or success is or can be emulated by others, especially younger people. I'm willing to bet that many in this room thought of a professional athlete as your role model. Recently, many of you said on a survey that professional athletes have desirable qualities. Well, I used to think the same way, but after doing some research on the topic, I disagree. Today, I would like to persuade you that not all professional athletes are good role models. First, I'll show you the problems bad role models can have, that professional athletes can have on their fans. Then we'll look at why we look up to them, and finally, ways to find better role models. There are many problems with professional athletes as role models. There are also examples of role models in professional sports. Michael Vick is my first example. According to the article, Michael Vick, a bad role model for children in 2009, Vick admitted to abusing and fighting dogs for over 6 years and was sentenced to prison because of it. However, Vick is now playing in the NFL again. This brings up the question, why did he get a second chance when most people wouldn't? Brett Favre is another infamous athlete. Brett has had an amazing career and is no doubt one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. This past year, however, Brett was caught sending profane sexual texts to a team's cheerleader. This had hard evidence to back it up, and the accusations greatly changed people's view of him. This also brings up the question, what else has he done that we don't know about? Michael Phelps is a superb athlete and is an additional bad role model. Phelps has won 14 gold medals throughout his unrivaled career, but fame wasn't enough for him, as pictures, as you can see, of him smoking marijuana surfaced the internet soon after. Phelps eventually admitted and apologized for his actions, but that didn't stop many people from changing their opinions about him. Tiger Woods. He may be the most talked about athlete, both good and bad, in the last decade. Tiger is arguably the best golfer to ever live. That didn't stop him from cheating on his wife with numerous women. Since the incident and a divorce, Woods has struggled greatly on and off the course. These are just a few examples of a list of professional athletes as bad role models that seems to get bigger every day. Brianna Kelly tries to explain why athletes act the way they do in her 2010 Newsweek article. Kelly calls it spoiled athlete syndrome. Professional athletes are used to being pampered and catered to by everyone. They get used to people looking the other way whenever they do something that is frowned upon. After years of this, they start to feel unaccountable for their actions. We as fans are greatly affected by their mistakes. Tracy Giuliano explains in his 2007 journal article that kids start to think it's okay to act out. They think professional athletes can do it, so why can't we? Over time, this can really take an effect on a kid, and it gives them false standards to base themselves off of. Kids are also getting let down over and over. Jill Lyons notes in his 2001 article that this disappointment may even lead to them to dislike the sport. This can also cause a child to eventually give up on their dreams that they originally had. Fans also start to lose respect for athletes. Lyons also explains that even good athletes begin to get stereotyped because of all the bad ones. People just assume that all professional athletes are making the wrong decisions. Now you have heard about some athletes who aren't good role models, and you might be wondering, why do we even look up professional athletes? Well, we look at professional athletes for many reasons. First off, sports are all around us, and they always have been since the day we were born. Magazines, TVs, newspapers, basically anything you can think of has sports somewhere in them. Tracy Giuliano tells that we want to be like them because of their desirable qualities that we see in the media. These qualities include money, fame, success, athleticism, etc. These aren't necessarily bad qualities. However, these aren't the only things we should look for when choosing a role model. We also admire that they achieve their dreams. We hope to one day follow in their footsteps and conquer our dreams as well. These reasons can cause us to grow up thinking that professional athletes are good role models. Because athletes are in the media so often, we may think we really know them, but this couldn't be farther from the truth. We only know the side that we see on TV. This side is portrayed however the media wants. This is a fake, unrealistic view. We have no clue what they do outside of their respected sport. Another reason we may look to poor role models is because we don't know the qualities of a good role model. Lyons explains that we must look at realistic qualities. Responsible, dependable, respectable, admirable, humble, these are all good qualities that you can find in a good person. Another quality is being a leader. I think this is most important. Being a leader means you have to stand up for what you think is right. We must look at non-professional qualities as well, says Lyons, such as, are they involved in the community, or do they have a family? You can also simply look at how they act or carry themselves to judge one's character. According to Giuliano, it is important to have a role model. Everyone needs someone to look up to. This person can serve as someone you want to be like when you are older. But make sure it is someone that will always be there for you. Now that you know why we look up to role models, here are some ideas and examples of good ones. Good role models are numerous. You just have to know where to look. Surprisingly, there are good role models in sports. Jim Kleinsasser is one of these examples. Jim grew up in a small town of Carrington, North Dakota, almost the exact same size as Barnesville. Jim achieved his dreams of being an NFL player through hard work and perseverance. He played for over 10 years as a tight end and a fullback for the Minnesota Vikings. Although he's in the NFL, Jim gets no hype like most other players. He also holds charity events for local communities, and he runs football camps for little kids. Another example is Joe Mauer. Much like Kleinsasser, he grew up in a small town in Minnesota. He used a lot of practice and determination to achieve his goals, and is now playing as a catcher in the Major League Baseball for the Minnesota Twins. For these reasons, he is a very admirable person. These are just two examples, but there are more out there. However, as Bob Frist explains in his 2005 journal entry, a role model doesn't have to be an athlete or someone famous. Teachers are an example of a good role model. They spend more time with today's youth than most parents. This allows them to have a very large influence. Now think, you all have teachers that you like and ones that you don't like. Well, I'm willing to bet that you can think of one that you do like and they could serve as a good role model for you. Coaches are another example. Obviously they teach about the sport, but they teach about more things than that. They teach about life lessons. Grandparents are a third idea. Grandparents have obviously lived for a long time, and this allows them to have gone through many experiences in life. Plus, grandparents care about you a lot. Older siblings could also be a choice. They have gone through many of the same experiences and had the same problems that you might be going through right now. Frist thinks the best role models for today's youth are parents. They are the most important people in your life, and since the day that you were born, they have given up many sacrifices in order for you to be where you are today. Parents will always be there for you, and they obviously love you a lot. Today, I told you that not all professional athletes are good role models. First, I showed you the problems of professional athletes as good role models. Then I told you why we look up to them. And finally, I showed you alternatives. With this new information, if you pick a professional athlete as a role model, I challenge you to rethink your decision. Choose someone you know personally, someone that is stable and won't disappoint you, as many professional athletes do to kids every day.